Bristol Community FM 93.2.
ਦੱਸਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਉਹ ਥਾਂ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਥਾਂ ਏ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਏ ਉਹ ਝੋਕ ਉਸ ਝੋਕ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਨਾਂ ਏ
Namaste and welcome to Vivacity, the show that loves good living here on BCFM 93.2, or if you're listening online at www.bcfm.org.uk. That last track was from way back in 2007, and it was released by London-based producer Gaudi as a tribute to Sufi singer Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan on the 10th anniversary of his death. So, a few weeks ago, I went to see an amazing documentary film called Dalai Lama Renaissance in Hamilton House. The film tells the story of a group of academics and visionaries who go to India with the express purpose of discussing and finding some solutions to the world's problems. They were also to meet with the Dalai Lama in Dharamsala in the foothills of the Himalayas, which has been his home since his exile in Tibet. Now, the film follows both their inner and outer journeys as they travel through India's colourful landscape, and some even more colourful dialogues transpire between the group members, with the presence of the Dalai Lama a reminder of the need for love and compassion. The film documents the unexpected synthesis that occurred in the group. And the film was introduced by its director, Khashyar Darvich, followed by an interesting question and answering session. I caught up with Khashyar after the session. Hi, Khashyar.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be here.
How did you get involved in this project?
I had worked with the Dalai Lama on 2 previous projects. One, a film about peace, and the other for TV in the United States. And the organizers of this journey to India and this meeting with the Dalai Lama heard that I had worked with him in the past, and they invited me to come and make a film.
Why was it important for you to make this film?
For me, a film is not worth making unless it has the intention of impacting audiences in a positive way. And so when I was asked to make this film, I just knew in my heart that it was going to be transformational. And it was transformational for everyone who was there speaking and dialoguing with the Dalai Lama. And also it was transformational for the film crew and for me as a filmmaker. Now, it's a very unexpected film. You go into it with sort of one expectation, an idea of what's going to happen, and that completely falls apart in the middle of the film, and then you're not sure where the film is going, and yet the transformation occurs at the end. And so we couldn't have predicted the power of the story that sort of unfolded naturally without really any planning or anticipation.
Harrison Ford narrates the film. How important was it to have a big name like him on board?
Well, it certainly helps to have a celebrity for the marketing and PR of a film. We have the Dalai Lama, who is obviously the featured character in the film, but it always helps to have someone else to sort of add PR value. But just to put someone with a name isn't good enough, and it's not appropriate. It had to be someone who really fit the film. And Harrison Ford was our first choice for the narrator, and it's because he has such a grounding voice. While the Dalai Lama is an icon of spirituality, Harrison Ford is the icon of the everyman. And so I felt like it was a good balance of this titan of spirituality and this titan of the grounded everyman.
I'd like to ask you what gifts the documentary has brought to you.
That's an excellent question. It continues to bring blessings. Yes, the process of being in India and interviewing the Dalai Lama was remarkable. Yes, the process of watching all the 140 hours of tape and sort of finding what speaks within was remarkable. But this process of finally releasing it into the world and sharing it with audiences, that has been special in itself. I receive as much from the audiences as they do from the film itself. I love to hear the audience's feedback and their personal sort of transformations that they experience while they're watching the film.
And how has the Dalai Lama personally inspired you, Khashyar?
Well, I feel fortunate and appreciative that I interviewed the Dalai Lama for the film and for some other projects. And the one thing that really stands out about the Dalai Lama is the ease with which he's compassionate and kind. In the West, we have our pop psychology that tells us how to be loving, how to treat our children. You know, our parents told us to behave in this way and not in this way. But seeing the Dalai Lama, who illustrates that being compassionate and loving is a natural part of who we are. If we just get out of the way, if we let our minds get out of the way, if we let our expectations get out of the way, if we let our fears get out of the way, then kindness and compassion just flow naturally from who we are. And so I really saw it. It's the first time I saw it so clearly in a person.
You've taken the film all across the world and shown it to many different audiences. I'm interested to hear how that's been received.
Oh, the film has screened around the world thousands of times in cinemas around the world and sometimes at spiritual centers. In fact, right now I'm in the UK and Ireland for a 26-city tour. You know, I've been really surprised that audiences around the world understand and experience that same inner human journey from the head into the heart. And that's one of the themes of the film, really, is going from our ego, allowing our ego to fall away and seeing that it has no use for us, and then sort of operating from our heart and opening our heart. Audiences, whether it was in Germany in cinemas or Taiwan in the Chinese language, or the Czech Republic, or Israel in the Hebrew language, or French or Italian. It's really amazing how they can see themselves in the film and in the characters of the film. And that's one thing I've heard countless times in the hundreds of Q&As that I've participated in, that the film acts like a mirror or reflection for everyone who sees it. And you see parts of yourself as you see these other characters go through their own transformations in the presence of the Dalai Lama.
What's the most important message you'd like audiences to take away from the film?
That it's actually from an interview that I did with the Dalai Lama, which wasn't included in this film, but I think it's going to be in my next film. That's called The Matrix of Compassion. But he told me this, and he wanted me to really to share this with others, in that each person has a unique gift that they're meant to share with the world, that will leave the world a little bit better than when they first arrived on this planet. And it's their job to listen inside themselves and find out what that is. And then once we share it, we will have fulfilled our purpose on the planet, and we can feel inner peace and feel satisfied. And that can be any profession. I mean, you don't have to be the Dalai Lama to create positive change in the world. You don't have to be a filmmaker. You can be a teacher in a school. You can be an employee in a fish and chip shop who's generous and kind and who is an example of compassion to his customers. So it kind of inspires them in some way. Everyone has a way of making the world a little bit better than when they first came on the planet.
I'm interested, the filming that you did was between the years 2000 and 2003. How has the work of the synthesis group that went to India to meet the Dalai Lama, how has that progressed?
Each of the participants who are in the film and who are on this trip were profoundly changed by their experience spending time with the Dalai Lama. And after they left India and went back to their respective countries, that infusion of open-heartedness and self-clarity and realization has been infused in their work ever since. And that includes books, films, television, and lectures. As an example, one of the main characters of the film is Fred Alan Wolf. He's a quantum physicist. After this trip in India, he starred in the film What the Bleep Do We Know? And The Secret. And he credits this experience that was captured in the film for really opening his heart. And the same with another quantum physicist who's in this film, Amit Goswami. After the experience in India, he went on and he also started in What the Bleep, and he's written books, and he's impacted millions with his work. So it's about planting that seed of personal transformation that each of us have the ability to do, almost like a stone of personal transformation that we throw into the pond of life, and it impacts those around us in every circumstance throughout our day.
That's beautiful. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me today, Khashyar.
It's my sincere pleasure.
And that was Khashyar Darvich, the film director of Dalai Lama Renaissance, and I really recommend trying to see that film if you get a chance. It was absolutely beautiful. So, the good ship Vivacity is about to return to the BCFM harbour after its cruise around the airwaves this lunchtime. I hope you've enjoyed the journey and wish you a fair weathered weekend, whatever you get up to. If there's anything in the meantime you think Vivacity should be talking about, you can email me at vivacity@bcfm.org.uk. You can also check out the show schedule, events featured on the show, and whatever else I'm up to on my blog, which is shivanifox.wordpress.com.